Hello my YouTube friends. Today we're going to be reconditioning the brakes on my 733 BMW, and as you can see here, well, I've already reconditioned the brakes. We've got brand new painted calipers with new nipples and some new hosing, and believe it or not, these rotors were new when I put them on there. Everything is painted and pretty. This is what the brand new rear ones look like with some new brake pads. Everything is totally reconditioned and redone, but of course, they look bad right now because they've been sitting for a very long time. These brakes were actually done in July of last year. Why has the car been sitting around long enough for these brand new brake rotors to become rusty already? Well, we're gonna get into that in this series. You definitely wanna see that. But let's take a look at how we redid these brakes. We all know safety's third, but let's chalk this up to I had spare wood laying around. But seriously, chalk your car before you jack it off the ground, especially when dealing with older unknown vehicles. In my case, I know the parking brake is weak at best here as well. Speaking of jacking it off the ground, be sure to look up the manufacturer's recommended jacking points and use them. Otherwise, you can easily damage the rocker panels or the floor of your car, and we're trying to make it better, not worse, so take the time to look it up. I'm sticking some jack stands under the car so I can work on all four corners at once. Then the wheels come off. And just because I may be under the car occasionally, I like to put a tire under there. Then if the jack stand fails, there's a chance I could survive. Not a good chance, but a chance. Next, I remove the calipers. Now, I'm no expert mechanic, but they aren't any different from any other calipers I've ever taken off. It just took me way too long. Here is a cool little coat hanger trick I learned to hang the calipers so they aren't stressing the brake lines. It's easy to do and it costs absolutely nothing. Next, I remove the old rotors. The retaining hex nut pretty much always gives me problems, and the BMW was no different. I stripped two of them and even had to drill one out and re-tap it. If it's an old car, you're gonna hit roadblocks like this, and if you aren't a professional mechanic, you might actually panic over it. But don't. Pretty much anything that you break can be fixed. It just takes a lot longer. Here I'm telling you how I'm going to push out the brake pistons using the brake pedal without my microphone turned on. This can get pretty messy. On the bench, I need to break down the calipers completely for paint and total rebuilding. It was at this point that I began my epic 5-hour struggle to remove the bleed nipples from the rusty calipers. And even better, at some point the camera got turned around so we have a great shot of the tripod handle. Sorry about that. During this epic struggle, I used pliers, locking pliers, a ratchet, 2 different drills, a hacksaw, a torch, easy out bits, and lots of foul language. I won eventually. Now the plan was to clean these rusty calipers for paint, and the easy way to do that is with muriatic acid and water. Safety note here, don't use aluminum or any metal containers for that matter to hold your acid. Ask me how I know. Now for some reason I stopped this clip just seconds before the bottom of the tinfoil holder burst and dumped muriatic acid all over the table and the concrete floor. It was a mess and pretty dangerous. So here I'm using plastic containers. One has muriatic acid and water, and the other is the neutralizer, which is baking soda and water. See, I can figure out how not to be dangerous. Who knew? Then a bit more extra cleaning with a wire brush and some elbow grease. And here I'm taping everything up and adding some rope to hang these from just for painting. A couple of coats of primer. Use the high heat stuff here. Then some black high heat paint to finish it off. They turned out pretty nice, I think. Now I wire brush and clean the rotor dust shields. I mask off the area the best I can. Then a few coats of high heat primer, then some high heat black paint to finish it off. Everything then goes back together. And then I replace the rubber brake lines on all four corners. I mean, this car's over 40 years old. Better safe than sorry when it comes to brakes. So you can see how much work this actually was. It took a pretty long time. And maybe in the next video, I'll show you taking it out for a drive. And then I think we're gonna discover why these are rusty. But that's for the next one. This is For the Love of Cars. Please do me a favor, and if you're not subscribed, please do so you get notifications on all the videos that we're putting out, especially if you like old beaters like this that we're going to recondition. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael Fire Jr., and I'll see you in the next one.